Let's focus on the game at hand, and to be honest, we could probably jump straight into it because I think we're a few minutes behind, so it might be good to get straight in.
Absolutely. All right, let's do it.
Because we are now live, and I'm in the north. I'm watching the Danish Prince, Insane Aimstrong, the number 7 seed for GCS2. He is up against very stern opposition in the south, though.
That is right. He's up against Theodosios, who has just beaten Findeed in the opening rounds, and it was a best of 3. It was in the 3rd game, and it was very, very close at the end. So no rest for him. He's going to be playing up against Aimstrong, who's had pretty much, an hour maybe to relax and collect himself for these games. He played incredibly well.
It felt like
against
that. I think it was
Momo.
more like it's like 20 minutes, but it
Really?
yeah, or maybe even less. I don't know when this game could have started 10 minutes ago or something. But regardless, we're here now and we're watching it, and we're not going to miss a single game today of this quarterfinals because I can confirm that their opponents are delayed. We've got a big delay in the tournament because Bart and Steph and BK had a bit of a bug and they've had to replay their game 3. It looks like Von Ivan is patiently waiting for them in the second round. So we're going to be able to watch the entirety of Aimstrong Theodosios, Dan. Then we're going to be able to watch some of the Von Ivan and either Barton or Stefan BK games. And then we'll obviously see the amazing quarterfinal in about 2 or 3 hours' time, I presume. So I'm going to have to get some more of this emerged from the fridge and have some more focus drinks probably to keep going.
You got to be careful with that stuff. It can give you very bad kidney stones.
Really?
Yes.
I just got it because it's easier than coffee to drink on stream.
I'll send you a picture later that will change your life.
You may have saved me, Dan. And that's right, because we now are advertising Bupa Life Insurance. No, GCS has no sponsors, by the way. We're entirely crowdfunded, all by the community, for the community. Every penny goes into creating awesome entertainment. Today, we've had some amazing donations that have bumped us up to $11,900, and we're well on our way to Manchester and having an amazing weekend. And this is just AE using his natural casting ability to cover for the fact that this early game is very quiet.
It's very dull, isn't it? But it reminds me of the Momo game. It's exactly the same kind of thing. We've got the 3 engineers into the Penal Battalion from Aimstrong again. That seems to be his familiar build for Soviets, using it to get good early game map control. And Theodosios is playing a careful game, taking his fuel and resources on the left-hand side before progressing out.
There you go. 4th Grenadiers coming out for Theo, so it's a heavy tier 1 from him. Aimstrong with the typical DevM style 3 combat engineers, 2 penal battalions, same build again. Let's see if Theo gives him more of an issue in that early to mid game transition and forces Aimstrong to go tier 2 rather than going for T70, because he has 2 options. And Dan, I actually really like the balance of Soviets right now. A lot of people saying they're a little bit underpowered compared to how they used to be, but it just, to me, means they need to rely on their tier structures and their core abilities and their support weapons a lot more, and that makes them better fleshed out and more interesting.
I think so. I think they're the best kind of variable play faction. You know, they're great to have with support and defense. They've got loads of units you can use for loads of different situations, and some of them just needed, quite frankly, I think just making either a little weaker or everything else brought up to balance, because there wasn't enough variety going on. But I think they are in a good place. Actually, I do like Soviets where they are at the moment.
SVT Penal Battalion's doing a lot of work in the west, just keeping Aimstrong's anchored there as he attacks heavily in the east with combat engineer flamethrowers. I mean, hands up in Twitch chat if you've been around for a long time. Like, I'm talking Co-1 days. You may remember back in the day that Aimstrong, his strategy called Bulletproof, as popularized by Inverse in a big YouTube guide, was the reason Panzer Elite was no longer used, and that was all about flamethrowers. Flamethrowers. And here we are all these years later. Aimstrong, there we go, one I member in chat. So here we go, 6 years later, still using flamethrowers to gain an advantage. That's exactly what we're going to see. We're also going to see a sniper very soon, also.
That's what I'm saying, intense decapping going on. Aimstrong is going to decap the fuel. There was great decap from Theodosios by moving around to decap fuel and strategic points. And this is what we saw. This is what I commented on Aimstrong being very good at before. You know, he was very good at picking the right times to do deep capping and get max benefit. Great rifle grenade on the penal battalions at the VP. Doesn't quite do the damage though. Yeah, Resource starved at the start, and I quite like this, to be honest. I think this will play in favour of Aimstrong, though, having the sniper.
Yeah.
You know, the longer it takes to get vehicles out, the more that sniper has a window of effectiveness, and if anyone's going to get use out of it, it'll be...
The defensive side of this DevM build is that resources, what resource? You don't need resource, you just need manpower. It's all about getting manpower on the field. Zisguns are your AT, the sniper is your T70. And you know, you can go toe-to-toe with this 2-2-2 build order, although that could have been dangerous for the mine layers there. You can go toe-to-toe with this. Of course, yeah.
That's a number of negative points for Aimstrong. Now Theodosios knows he's planting mines aggressively, he knows he's planting the nearest opportunity. You know, he could have lost the squad there as well.
Could have been much worse, though, you're right. Combat Engineer, very low health on the east there. Grenadiers could be killing it. And do indeed do that with a flamethrower drop as well, Dan.
That's unfortunate. I wonder if the Grenadiers will pick it up. That'll make them a pretty effective unit. And that's really good, actually, because I think that's one of the benefits that the Soviets have is they can always rush in with that flamethrower squad. It helps get everything out of cover, and then, you know, you get things like the penal battalions or the conscripts picking them as they retreat, as they move. Well, actually, now the Oster has this ability, and I think that's actually very, very good to have picked up that flamethrower.
There's an Urban Assault Grenadier. It's low on health, but it's high on DPS, and it's going to be a thorn in the side for Aimstrong now. Aimstrong, by the way, getting a guard squad out. It's going to be interesting. It's going to help him deter the fans until such time as he has a hard counter. News from the Twitch chat. Spoiler alert, look away now if you don't want to hear some news, but seems that Helping Hands has won, and he's well on his way to a round 2 game against Talisman. Also a bit of an update as we see this 2-2-2 hunt down. Penal Battalion on retreat down. Will he get the kill?
He's not confident enough. He's already tripped mines already. I think he's not going to be confident to make the push, and I think that's actually still a good decision, to be honest. He could have got a squad wipe there. It would have been fine, but, you know, eyes on the ground, you don't know. And again, like we said this about Theodosios, he's a careful player. He's not going to take risks like that. And at the very least, he has that scout car to help deal with the sniper.
Field hospital and base. Let's keep those penals on the battlefield. Meanwhile, the Grenadiers in their base lay down the bunker construction to allow for the 60 munition cost of the field infirmary there, the medic station. And this is a very, very close game, Dan, strategically. They've just equalised on victory points right now. Yeah, there you go, 4-5-9, 4-5-9. And it's anybody's game for the win in a huge way. They're two great players, roughly equivalent seeds. I know, obviously, Aimstrong was seed 7 and Theodosios was slightly lower than that, but, you know, there's not too much between them on paper, so it's going to make for an excellent series.
I'm quite excited for this one, actually. I think this is going to be a long series, potentially. Really depends on Aimstrong. I think when he gets into tier 3, then maybe we get to see Theodosios tested a little bit. You know, this is great vehicle players. It's been described as Von Ivan, but I think actually when we saw the last game, we were casting Theodosios and Findeed. I didn't really see Theodosios running around with the minesweepers that much. And he hasn't got them at the moment. It's not a priority, do you know what I mean? He's already seen mines down. He hasn't made that the priority in the game so far. I saw that in the last game. I think that might actually be something that goes downhill in this game. I think.
Yeah, I mean, it did have Stern Pioneers that he had to keep repairing with. I think he went Battle Grouper for the flak truck, and that is okay. It'll be so that half explains it. But as Wehrmacht, he has no excuse whatsoever. You're bang on. He needs to get those minesweepers up. Interestingly, Danny's got his own mine on the west there. He's got his own sharpshooter out very soon to possibly counter-snipe that Aimstrong sniper. And I call it an Aimstrong sniper because, of course, as a Vico player, he, you know, he's notorious for his sniper usage, just like Devon and even players like Helping Hands. Loveness from the Code 2 era is probably the best sniper user. But, you know, a lot of these players are famous for their sniper usage.
I really used to miss... Sorry, no, I do miss it, but I used to miss the grudge matches between Captain Price and Lovenest, like on maps like this when they had the sniper wars. Both players that would use a lot of snipers, none of them would hold back, you know.
Definitely.
And this is a great sniper map. There's always some kind of standoff. Yeah, Minesweepers have gone up now. He has actually invested in those. That's sensible.
Look what Aimstrong does, by the way, to all mid-level players looking to improve out there. He's shielding the sniper at all times with the PTRS Penal Battalion, which protects it from the scout car rush.
Yeah, it's a good play.
I can't believe we're here, Dan. We're in GCS2. This is blindingly exciting for me. It really is. The sniper, by the way, notes he's now next to the barrels right now. He's not even bothered. Oh! Aimstrong sniper's just on the periphery of that range. If you see, he's now trying to push up, but he doesn't want to drop out of cover for fear of losing his cloak. And that's decent play by Aimstrong, I guess, just by a kind of... You want to be shielding your sniper, so it kind of works. It's not just luck. T70 now out as well, Dan.
I'm just watching it because you can see how he's making his way up slowly. Sniper's been revealed. It's out of cover. Here comes the shot. It is going to be a counter snipe from Theodosios.
Nice.
Well played.
Very well played. So Momo showed us one sniper counter earlier, and here's another. It's using the sniper itself, but here comes the T70. Sniper in hot retreat. 222 comes to mitigate.
He does need to get out of there. The Puma's coming up as well to provide support. And will these units give chase?
Oh, they're going to have to. There's no mines on this path as well. Maybe the T70 can make the Puma think there's a mine. But in all honesty, this looks like a great win for Theodosios. Out of control goes the T70. 2 losses in quick succession for the Danish Prince. Don't know where that's come from, by the way. It's his unit name, apparently.
No, that's really good. But we saw this with Momo. You know, we saw Aimstrong lose a lot of units about this time in the game in the last series when he was playing Soviets, and he did manage to come back from it. His build was quite solid on recovery. That being said, though, I think Theo is really, really strong in all of these engagements. He hasn't lost much. You know, he has made better tactical decisions over time to get the Minesweepers. He's kind of less at risk now from making mistakes like that. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I'm impressed as well. I think Theo's putting a really good show up here. I believe on paper you would have argued, Aimstrong stronger coming into the tournament, which is very present number one faction rankings. But Theo's looking devilishly strong. I mean, let's not forget, Theo's the guy Lovenest chooses to practice with, and Lovenest is your GCS1 champion, so I think that tells a lot. Few spoilers from the Ostfront here, just to cover your ears if you're a YouTube viewer and you plan to watch some other casts on other people's channels. Oh, rifle nade. Oh, that good actually, Dan. But anyway, spoilers are Von Aston 1-0 up against J for Jet in round 2. Obviously, we've already mentioned Theodosios through against Jesulin. 2-0, big upset there for you Spanish fans. And Lovenest, of course, 1-0 up against Stuve.
It's a shame about Jesulin.
It is.
Really, because if there's one thing that he has definitely wanted to do in this tournament, it's make up for last tournament, the GCS, the first one, where he really, well, they're like 5-minute games, some of them. It was a really poor performance, and it just kind of showed how out of practice he was. But it's great to see him back. It's great to see him actually come back as well and want to come back. That's going to be disheartening because he's tried, practiced really hard.
I actually completely disagree, Dan. At the end of the day, Jesulin beat Crab Chicken the Bidoof 2-0 in round 1.
He could go home proud of himself today.
How could he be disappointed? Crab the Chicken Bidoof, come on. And let's focus on the game at hand once more, as the Theodosios sniper is staying on counter-snipe duties because he knows the Soviet sniper is back on the field, having 3 kills already. So it's a full classic sniper battle in play. So Good luck, Dan, keeping an eye on both snipers at the time and trying to cast the rest of the game with your camera control. If there's anybody that can do it, it's you.
It's actually very difficult to keep tabs on all the engagements at once. Sniper, really going to run back into the engineers there. Decloaked. Game's been given away that sniper is near. It's,
We now have the guys that are set up to play the winners of Aimstrong Theodosios are, of course, Von Ivan, and joining him, Stefan BK beats Spartan 2-1.
We are losing a sector.
And there you go. So we've got our quarterfinal is starting to shape up now. It's either going to be Von Ivan and Stefan BK versus the winner of Aimstrong and Theodosios. And the winner of that game will go through to tomorrow in the semi-final, cast by Dan and myself.
That's an interesting result. Mind you, I haven't seen much of Barton around. So
No, I think he's been playing other games, to be honest. He often gets by just on past accomplishments with seeding. We left up to a panel this year for the mid seeds. We had a panel of players, referees, etc. And they still gave Barton a decent score. They thought, yeah, fair enough, SNF5 champion, but it definitely feels like his glory days are well and truly in the past.
Well, there's still time. I think the good thing about the amount of qualifiers that are going on is that you can afford to make mistakes in this round and tighten up your game a little bit. It might be a wake-up call for some players who probably don't realise the amount that competition has increased in this game over the last 3 or 4 months.
Yep. I mean, Jesulin has done a lot, but maybe not enough. Aimstrong is an older player. Certainly, I would argue, has done enough to be respectable now against a KO2 juggernaut like Theodosios. So I think this series is going to be entirely hyper competitive. Very excited to see what happens. That said, though, Dan, I mean, look at the meta as it's shaping up. The Mobidef meta. He's now joining with a tier 3 vehicle, the Mark IV Panzer. It's looking good for Theo.
It is looking. Actually, his score is a lot higher at the moment. He's completely nullified the sniper from Aimstrong. Even though he's reinvested it, they're just countering each other, forcing pretty much no shots fired, which I think is brilliant. It works so well for Theodosios because Aimstrong's basing his strategy around this.
Absolutely.
So it's actually working out very, very well. He's going to get his Panzer IV on the field, and I actually think Aimstrong's in a little bit of trouble, to be honest.
He is right now, but I keep going on. It's one of the few players I keep tabs on. Aimstrong's stamina's a lot better this time, endurance-wise. He claims. He said that, to be honest, Mads, I feel my stamina is much better this year around. It feels like he doesn't feel panicked when he gets past the 20 to 30 minute mark. He feels like he, welcomes the Aimstrong zone a little bit. But then again, Dan, Theo's exactly the same. It's almost the immovable object coming up against the irresistible force. And that's why I don't want to count Aimstrong out yet. I think this is any man's game to win.
Yeah, well, certainly enough VPs. Certainly enough skill.
It's almost done. It feels like we're cricket commentators, and we're only on day 2 of the test series. That boy Aimstrong has certainly got great legs. Theodosios, the German cricketer, has got great bowling swinging on. Maybe by Thursday we'll start to see how this test series could unfold.
We are losing a sector.
Reminds me of Mitchell and Webb, the snooker commentators.
Yes. Well, we need something that
sniper
can miss.
has just revealed itself. Needs to be careful because he's not cloaking quick enough. Got a lot to look out for here. Got to be careful of the guards as well. Where's the sniper from Aimstrong? He's actually on the right-hand side trying to deal with the grenadiers. Panzer IV needs to be careful of the AT gun.
Let's be very careful. There's that AT gun. Whistles overhead. Smoke pop, though, of course. Not only do you get the Panic Puma, as the satchel was thrown, damaged engine. No follow-up, though, unfortunately, for Aimstrong. Not only do you get the Panic Puma as part of Mobidef, you also get Panic Smoke. Way, what a great commander, Dan.
Sniper might be the end of this grenadier here if it can get the last shot on. Yes, he does. He lines up, and the flamethrower goes back into the hands of the Soviets.
Is he going to get it with the penal, or is it fully tapped already?
think.
So it's going to have to be the combat engineer with both a minesweeper and a flamethrower. Exciting.
That's good.
A squad of pioneers.
It's like because it looks like he's only got a minesweeper, unless you look closely at the huge canisters of napalm on his back.
I was just about to say this because there used to be that old thing with USF where you buy the bar first and then the bazooka so that your opponent doesn't realise that you've got.
I hate that so
you know
much.
what I mean?
I bet you would do that to me in auto match, wouldn't you? That's something you would do.
It's the kind of thing you wanna try and do just to hide the fact, but yeah. I really like people that play like that as well, especially with the engineers, because I don't know if they still do. I think they still do. They have 4 weapon slots, so you can hide like all manner of deadly things. Like,
Rifle nade, big one there. Peel has to get out of dodge. LMG can't get the kill though. What's going on? Oh! Returns fire with the Zis gun. Annihilation from an AT gun there.
what?
You
Great! What a great shot!
that was incredible. You have a rifle nade. I have an artillery cannon. State of one-upmanship from the Dane there.
I mean, it's rare that happens, but when it does, what have we got here? There's a tense sniper play. Oh, Aimstrong just revealed himself for a second.
What's he doing? Only a second though. Oh! Theo sniper's now in range, but still in cover. Well, they're getting close to the snipers. Aimstrong's working his way up through the mid. He's making use of that tank trap right now as another field artillery shot comes in.
Oh!
Is Theo going to soft retreat? Yes, he is! He soft retreats onto a mine! Only the pin of the guard's rifles kept that sniper from dying there. If he wasn't pinned, he would be one dead sharpshooter.
No, I don't think that was the mine. I think it was the Zis barrage hit it square
I thought
on.
it detonated the mine. There was not a mine underneath it. Fair
I
enough.
don't
Okay,
think so.
maybe I just saw something that wasn't there. Fair enough.
That Zis barrage is really, really doing great work. Aimstrong walking full on into minefields
I was
there.
going to say, can't clear him with the minesweeper, clear him with your face. That's this gun's going back into the game, it seems. Why is he going for the T-34 though? It feels like he's countered. He's up against the Panzer IV command tank, the Panzer IV Vanilla, the Puma, and of course, the Sonderkraftflugzeug. Zanzig. I like to say it as gay as possible, Dan. I don't know if you noticed. As camp as possible, Rob. No, they're not lucky this time with the Zis at max range. Venal's all groups up.
This is difficult. I mean, Theo's got good map control. He's got great map control at the moment. But trying to hold 3 sides is going to be difficult. Equally difficult for Aimstrong. He's going to try and push mid and left. But he's lost pretty much all the resources now. Double fuel in the hands of Theo if he can't control. And as you said, building the T-34s...
I just pissed so many Germans off in chat, Dan. It was glorious. The chat lit up with Germans like Dresden and you know, and all the Germans. They came out of the woodwork. They're mostly lurkers. And I drew them out of the woodwork with my incredible German pronunciation. Thank you. By the way, we've got the Wehrmacht snipers up against the tree right now, which of course renders him invisible. T-34 roars into action with the Zis gun in combination. Got the guards and the penals. Will they get the kill here? Here comes the Puma though.
That's a bit ballsy. Nice smoke though. Smokes the AT gun. Puma's comfortable to stay in the engagement and pick off.
Look at this from Theo in the east though. He's managed to silence that Maxim with the Panzer IV and the Vet 3 Grenadier coming in. And these guys have got a difficult retreat path now. Great flank by Theo.
That is a really good flank, actually. I thought he was going to push to maybe go for the T-34. He could actually push into the base if he wanted to. The AT gun still on its ways around. Instead, he's going to go and try and reclaim territory, because if he can get that double fuel, it's a really big moment for him. We've got engineers on the retreat. Will we see the Panzer IV push forward to try and get a squad wipe?
They'd be fools not to. I think they've got 2 support weapons currently slotted in there. So... good to get the kill on them. Will it do it? Nope. Past the house. Should survive. There you go.
I don't know if he clocked it. I don't know if he clocked there was a retreating unit there. Miner in the center. Still got to be so careful of those mines. The minesweeper I don't think is far enough up front the field.
I think Theo's in a slow, methodical killing process now. It's almost as though he's in full control, and he's calm, and he knows exactly what he needs to do. Aimstrong needs to throw a bit more chaos into the equation.
The sniper here is about to get flushed.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Actually, Aimstrong, I think this is the moment that we kind of saw in the previous game where he managed to get these 2 T-34s. This is when he started getting aggressive. We're seeing the same thing here, not worrying about mines. He's prepared to push through the center. T-34 is going to come up. Is he going to target the scout car, try and get away, or is he going to push
One of the things to throw in for a scout car. Smoke has been popped. T-34 marches on regardless. Last shot misses through the smoke. Here comes his bigger brother, though. The 85 variant is there to add some reassurance.
Oh, I think he's made a mistake going back in with the T-34. Puma and Panzer IV should be able to finish that off. Now he's going to try and get the Panzer IV out of there. The 80 gun is trying to fire on the Puma and actually gets
what
it.
a shot at max range with the Zis gun! Past the guard tower, gets a Puma for his troubles. Will the Panzer IV march on though, not try and get the killing blow on this T-34? He has managed to decrew the Zis now with the Panzer command tank. T-34's left his rear armor exposed. Panzer IV could get the killing blow.
Yes, he will. He will. He manages to not only defend against that, only losing the Puma, he retaliates, taking down both T-34s. Aimstrong in a little bit of trouble in game 1, and if Theo is playing sensible, which to be honest I'm worried he won't, he could push. He could push really, really hard right now, all the way back up to base.
Just an FYI for chat viewers, it was 276mm variants, but because the balance mod has actually added in variation on where the fuel canisters lie on the back of the tank, it confused dear old AE. But at least I knew why I was confused. I kind of get some street cred back, Dan, if you know.
It's a fair
Only
point.
just there.
Not as easy to tell anymore.
It isn't. It isn't. Theo's in control still. Aimstrong threw in everything he had and was left wanting thanks to the excellent flanking potential of the build Theodosios has. With all that mobility, you're able to throw a tank around the trees and take out the AT gun from behind and then finish it off with attack move for good measure 2 minutes after the battle.
Our opponents
Wow,
are
really well.
seizing a sector.
Where does Aimstrong go from here? He's got tier 4. Hasn't really got the fuel though, not even got the munitions or really the income to rely on the IL-2 for a decent assault. Theo, I think, is being a little too static. I don't really know what is on the field right now. He knows that he's already got the AT gun in his control, so I'm not 100% sure. Actually, no, he didn't get the AT gun. Sorry, was taken back by Aimstrong. I didn't see that.
No, it's destroyed just. That's.
So is this a new AT gun?
It is completely new, yes. So he's
Okay,
built another one down. He attacked, moved it, just destroyed
I mean, there's
it.
a real window here where I feel like Theo, I know he plays safe and I know he's prepared to sit back, but he had everything that he needed to go in then and play, and that's why game's gone so long with him. You know, he's content just sitting here, letting Aimstrong build back up and then playing it again. But I think there's a degree of risk when you have a player like Aimstrong.
He's not a gambler. Yeah, he's not a gambler. And you need to have an element of safe gambling in Company Heroes 2 to be truly successful at that highest of levels. You need to know when to go all in. Obviously, Von Ivan always knows to go all in. I got 3 tanks, capital cars, time to go all in. But to use his old voice, a terrible rendition of his old voice. But you know, most players know when to make smart gambles, and I think Theo, as you did say, Dan, is a bit too safe at times.
I always get that impression. Nevertheless, it works for him. You know, it's his playstyle. He does well. But we are seeing him get a little bit more active at the moment. You can see he's starting to put pressure on all 3 points on this map. And he might decide to work out further than the VPs from there. It's an interesting game to watch, really, because the way that he sets this up is very good. Panzer IV, Command Panzer IV. On the left, you've got defense from the MG. He's got the Grenadiers there for the Faust if necessary. Snipers are so close to each other. Really, really tense there on the right-hand
Yeah.
side. Again, like Grenadiers, you see the same formation. Grenadiers slightly ahead. Panzer IV, you can tell he's used to having these formations on the field. He plays them very well.
This could be
Ostwind in the build.
Ostwind in the build, just to add to his calamity. He's only one Stug away from having pretty much every medium tank he could possibly field. The Wehrmacht snipers retreated, so we're not going to get the counter snipe we were waiting for. Aimstrong is marching forth with penal battalions. That's not great play. He's suffering a lot of manpower damage there. What's he thinking of? If he dies, he deserves to die, in my opinion. And he survives. He's a little bit lucky there.
Have access to additional battlefield options.
This looks like he was microing in the east as the Grenadiers march forth. At the same time, here comes the Ostwind. First, and usage of the vehicle is to try and counter this IL-2. So just in time done, basically.
Our foes to 100 points.
How can the Sturmovix, I know they're flying tanks, one of the most armoured planes of World War II, but I'm surprised they're surviving the onslaught right now, to be honest.
Well, I think both of them did go down there. Ostwind doing its job. And I really like that he's got the Ostwind out. Maybe not for that reason. I'm not sure whether this is to put extra pressure on the infantry engagements or whether it is, specifically to prevent any comeback through the IL-2. But it's a great unit to have on the field. He really does have every base covered. I think it's very, very impressive right now. Aimstrong is really stuck for what to do.
He is. He's between a rock and a hard place. And the rock is Theodosios' rock-steady gameplay. And the hard place right now for Aimstrong is crossing in the woods. As it's just not working for him right now.
Potentially a bit of a deep push there. He's going to take a satchel on the Panzer IV. It's going to also turn, exposing its rear armour. And if Aimstrong's playing the T-34, it's going to start making its way over there, and it is. There's an 80 gun as well, so Aimstrong might try take this down and push the right side. Still, he'd be dreaming big if he thinks this is going to help him win the game.
Nice there. That's the kind of thing he needs to happen. But whilst that's happening, here comes the cavalry in the biggest way imaginable as the T-34 is impotent and being woefully punished by these heavy panzers.
Yeah, nothing is going to stop this armour from on the field. It's a lot of armour, to be honest, and I think actually given that he has the advantage, I'm trying to counter this medium armour, it will just swarm him every time he gets into into range. Every time he brings an AT gun up, it's not going to be able to deal with like 4 or 5 vehicles. It's crazy. 16 VPs. Aimstrong, for some reason, staying in the game. I personally would probably just take a breather.
Not done. Yeah, he's exactly. I would agree. I mean, he's playing till the end, which is commendable, but he's out. I don't think he played the DevM build to its, its true capacity in this case. He only had the one Zisgun at a time. DevM tends to go like a Barton-esque 3 Zisgun, so it might be interesting if he does that in the future. But yeah, nice game by Theo. Well played.
GG. GG.
For the non-existent Stinger, we're straight back into the lobby. I need to get used to that. I'm so
sorry.
rocking.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. We'll use it tomorrow.
Do you want me to try? Because I
No,
can.
no, if it fries your computer. By the way, I felt really badass there. I don't know if you know, but I muted myself during that heavy engagement. I wasn't watching it. I was talking to my sister saying, "I'm casting. Stop ringing me. You rang me 5 times." And she's okay. And she's gonna message me. And I unmuted myself, put my headset on, saw a huge engagement, and I jumped in. Was it seamless?
I didn't notice. So
excellent. I shouldn't have. But I wasn't even watching the engagement. I just jumped in and said, "Oh, the things are happening."
I think you did very well. I didn't even notice, to be honest.
Oh, good. That's badass then. I felt like a badass when it happened. People that have been pointing out your new room in chat. I mean, you might want to say what that is, Dan.
Sorry, I'm just getting some light at the moment.
Oh
no,
okay.
It's the wrong button. There we go.
He's got a light, a special light.
I do. Shall I show everyone the light? This is the light. It's quite cool. Just helps out a little bit. No more bad camera lighting.
Dan, for tomorrow, do you think we should ask Jan to do to put like a delay on the scores so people can't get spoiled by looking at the brackets too much?
I don't know, to be honest. It's a lot of work.
Might not be. I'll ask him how much that work that is. But could it be quite nice?